Okay, I'm gonna try to do short video clips. My pan is heating up. I have it on like medium high heat, okay? I just use cheap butter because I can't afford the expensive butter. I buy this in a 4-pack at Sam's Club. Members Mark. I do 2 sticks at a time because I love butter. I use salted because I am addicted to salt. I eat salt by itself. Elizabeth did, some people complain it's too salty, so Elizabeth did half salted, half unsalted. Some people do strictly unsalted. Honestly, I would like to put flaky salt on top of my salted because I love salt and I can't get enough salt. So you're just gonna melt it. All right, I'm gonna stop this video and I will cut to the next stage. Okay, this is the first stage. Butter is just melted. It's a little bit frothy on top. Just stir it gently. I have it on the same medium-high heat. And you're just gonna stir it, and it's a little bit frothy. Okay, it's really boiling now, and it starts to clear up a little bit. That froth goes away a little bit, and it's really boiling. See? Really boiling, and the next step comes pretty quickly. Okay, we're close. It goes from a little bit bubbly to frothy. It starts to get real frothy, and it's filling up the pan. This is when it starts to brown, and you'll see the brown start to come through in the color. You'll start to see it come through. Let's see, there it is, right there. See it? That's the browning. So keep stirring. Oops, sorry. Whoa, I spilled. This is hard to do on the phone. All right, keep stirring. It's very frothy. I have 2 sticks of butter in this. It's not a huge pan. I don't know what this is, 8 or 9 inch pan. Okay, let me stop it for a second. The frothing will start to settle. I'm gonna turn the heat off, but I'm gonna leave it on the burner. I like mine a little bit more browned. So as I move the foam, you can see kind of how dark it gets down there. Let me see if I can, okay. The solids are browning and they settle to the bottom. Okay, so I have the heat off, but it's still on the heat. I don't worry too much about burning it because personally I like the taste. But if you like it less of a burn flavor, you just kind of have to get used to that or decide what you want. Okay, so this is pretty dark. I'll pull it off the heat now. So the froth starts to settle down. You can see it's just barely a layer on top. And I have a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't know if I use all this much. I usually just eyeball. I sprinkle it around. Okay, that's probably enough. So not quite a ½ teaspoon. And then you stir that in. It's a little hard to stir in because it gets stuck in the froth, but just stir it in. Okay, so it's been sitting for about 10 minutes. You can kind of see that's how dark the solids get. And they settle to the bottom. And one time I tried to blend them in a blender, they still settle to the bottom, so don't worry about that. This is the vanilla I use. It's from Kroger. I do try to use pure vanilla if I can, so it doesn't have any bad ingredients in it, but use whatever you want. And I just do a little bit. For some reason, the flavor is very strong, maybe because there's no carbs or flour to soak it up or sugar. So I just do like a little bit. There's not much in there. And then I stir it up. If your stuff is too hot when you put the vanilla in, it will bubble because it's an alcohol with a oil base. I don't really know what it does, but it boils almost. So I just stir that in, and then I will put it in my freezer container. There are 2 ways to freeze it. You can either use like a glass or metal container. If you do that, put parchment paper in it. You don't have to spray it, but just put parchment paper in it because the butter will stick to this glass and it's hard to get out. So you can do that, or you can use a silicone like candy mold. If you use a silicone, if you do this, you can just pour it in there. The solids will settle to the bottom, and then the butter, the lighter color, will be on top. That's what you saw in the picture I sent earlier. If you do it in a silicone mold with little candy things or different dividers, you'll want to spoon it so that you can get kind of even distribution of the butter solids in each container. And then you freeze it. It takes several hours till it gets like solid but still soft, and then a couple more hours till it gets hard and crunchy. So that's it. Enjoy. This is my setup. You don't want really any more froth than this, so try to stir it in if you have more froth than that in your pan. It's a little bit messy, but I used the spooning to try to get even amount of browned butter bits in each container. So I used 2 sticks of butter. These are 6 slots, so this is 1/3, 2/3, 1 stick of butter, 2 sticks of butter. I eat at least 1 a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 1.5. This is my freezer. I just set it right there and put it in there. So it's been about 15 minutes after I took it out of the pan, so it's still pretty warm. But then you just freeze it. That's it.